Hey everybody, Nate from Richard's Guitar Studio, and today we're going to do Happy Christmas by John Lennon. As always, the tabs are in the description, so go ahead and open them up and follow along there. Also in the description I have a couple other holiday themed lessons. One is on Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Christmas Eve Sarajevo, the Carol of the Bells. And I have a video of me playing the Nutcracker on classical guitar, so that's just something for enjoyment there. So this one, what we're going to do is we're going to start with an A major chord, and you can do this one of two ways. I'm going to show you this way with the first, second, and third fingers. So on the D string, second fret, put your first finger, and then G string, second fret, second finger, and then B string, second fret. So you got to cram them all in there. So what I like to do is move my elbow out, and it like turns the fingers sideways. That way you can kind of fit them all in there. And you're going to strum 5 strings. Another way to do it is with your second finger, third finger, and fourth fingers on the D, G, and B strings. And that's good because the pinkie's smaller, so it can like, you know, get out of the way of that E string a little easier. So either way is fine. I'm going to do it 1, 2, and 3 though. I feel like this way it's easier for me to get to the next chord, that's why. So we have A, and then you lift the finger off the B string to open the B string. That says A sus2. Then you add either your third or your pinkie. I do my pinkie, you could do your third, whichever one, to the B string, third fret. All the time your first and second fingers are still there on the D and G string, second fret. That's an A, A sus4. And then we go back to A. So you have A sus2, A sus4, A. The next thing is the strumming pattern. So the strumming is down, down, up, down, up. So you can count 1, 2, and 3, and 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 1. Just to kind of like get the groove down, and then once you have that, you can just kind of, you don't have to count anymore after that. You just, you know, really play with the feel. So you're going to do one strumming pattern per chord. A sus2, sus4, A. And there you go, that's the first measure. Then we're going to go to a B minor chord. This one is a bar chord, so it makes it a little bit harder. But what I like to do is do the fingers first and then lay down the bar after. I think it helps the hand position. So go to the B string, third fret with your middle finger. Then your third and fourth fingers are going to go on the D and G strings on the fourth fret. So once you have those down, then your bar is going to lay down across 5 strings on the second fret. And the tip of my index finger dampens the low E string. So when I strum this, just in case I get some string noise on that string there. So you have a 5-string bar chord, and then you're going to lift the second finger off, and that's going to make it a B sus2. Then what you're going to do is lift the bar off. You're still going to keep the tip of the finger on the A string, but no bar back here on the back of the finger. And that makes it a B sus4. And then you lay the whole bar chord back down, the bar and the second finger back down for B minor. So you have B minor, B sus2, B sus4, B minor. Now I just exaggerated this to get it out of the way to show you, but you don't have to do it. Alright, so when you're doing that B sus4, you don't want to. You don't have to move that far out to get the open strings. Next line, now we're on to the next line. Now we have 2 versions of this one, as you'll see on this next line, and you can choose which one you want to do. There's the regular acoustic guitar version, which has an E sus4, which is on the A string, your second fret, middle finger, D string, second fret, ring, and then G string, 2nd fret, pinkie. So you're going to have that one, and then what's going to happen is that your pinkie moves out of the way, and you put your first finger down on the 3rd string, G string, for an E major chord. So you have the pinkie down, and then the first finger comes down on that. Alright? And you get 1 strumming pattern for the first chord and 3 for the next chord. So So you see I have this line underneath there. It's a little bit of a harder version, and what it does is it grabs some notes from the overdub instruments, and it sounds like it. You start with the E sus4, then go to the E, just like we just did. This time you're going to reach over. You have these fingers here, and if you can, leave everything where it is and grab your pinkie on the D string, 4th fret. And the pad of that finger, of that pinkie, is going to dampen the 3rd string, the G string. And that makes it an E sus2. Alright? So that chord would be open E, 2nd, 4th, 1st, open, open. And then you would lift the pinkie and go right back to the E. That's what I'm saying, you leave the E down, because you're going to have the E, add the pinkie, lift it. Alright, so it goes E sus4, E, E sus2, E. Alright, then it's going to go back to the first measure, A, sus2, sus4, A. Alright, so that's the first main phrase. I'll play through it one time. And on your tab sheet, it's the first 2 lines. So it goes like this. Okay, now on to the next line. It goes to a D chord, which is 2nd finger on the E string, 3rd finger on the B string, 1st finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and you strum 4 strings. Then in order to make it a D sus2, you take that 2nd finger off the E string. And then to make it a D sus4, you add your pinkie to the 3rd fret of the high E string. And all the while, these 2 fingers stay, they don't move. And then you put your 2nd finger back down for a D. So you have D, D sus2, D sus4, D. Alright. The next measure is an E minor chord, and you could just do this the whole measure. That one doesn't have to move at all. If you want to add in the extra instruments, again, I have another line underneath that chord. You'll see that in measure 6. And it looks like this. You have E minor with 1 and 2, which is an A string, 2nd fret, D string, 2nd fret, all 6 strings. And then what you could do is, in order to make it an E minor major 7, you would add your pinkie to the B string, 4th fret. You can dampen the high E. So it would sound like this. It's a very weird sounding chord. Then you would take that off, and you're going to go to an E minor add 9, which adds your 3rd finger to the 2nd fret of the high E string. So again, you have this E minor 1 and 2 down, and you grab 2nd fret with that 3rd finger. Then back to E minor. So you have E minor, add the major 7 on there, add the 9, and then back to E minor. Alright, Alright, so that line right there on your tabs measures 5 and 6. Alright, next, then we go back to an A chord, but this time the arrangement of the suspensions are different. So we have a sus4 and sus2 in different areas. So we have the sus4 first, then the A, then the sus2, then the A. Alright, so that's your first finger on the D string, 2nd fret, second finger next to that, and then either 3 or 4 on the B string, 3rd fret. So that's the A sus4. Then you slide that finger back down to the 2nd fret. Then you take that finger off to make it A sus2. Then back on to make it an A. Alright. Then we have the D chords again. And this is the same arrangement. D. Take it off for sus2. Put it back, put the pinky down for sus3. Or sorry, sus4. No such thing. Sus4. And then the D. Alright, so that line on measures 7 and 8 is going to be A sus4, A sus4, A sus2, A, D, sus2, sus4, D. Alright, so I'm going to play the whole section, the second section, part B, starting on D. It starts on D and finishes on D like this. Alright, so that's how that entire section sounds once you put it together. Alright. I'll play the whole song slowly at the end, so just hang on for that. The very last section, it starts on a G chord, and this is going to be your standard kind of, folk G. Second finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, first finger on the 2nd fret, and then 3rd finger way back here on the high E. Strum all 6 strings. Same strumming pattern 4 times. Then it goes to an A chord, all lined up again, same strumming pattern 4 times. Then it goes to an E minor chord, back to this one, and only twice on the strumming pattern, and then back to G twice on the strumming pattern, like this. Then the last 2 chords are D, again, twice on the strumming pattern. And then E goes once on the strumming pattern. And then the last 2 notes, 2nd fret on the low E, 4th fret on the low E. So the entire part C here, starting on the G chord, sounds like this. And what you're going to do there is play the whole page 4 times, and that's the whole song. Alright? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to have the whole page in front of me. And I'm going to play the entire thing slowly for you. And you could play along. And go from there. Here we go. part B. Part C. And then it would go right back to the beginning. Sorry. Have fun with this one, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and use those tabs to practice, and I'll talk to you later. Have fun.